So, a lot of talk coming out of the Xbox conference that took place earlier this week with rumors of upgrading your Xbox and announcements of new games coming to the Windows PC, with a hint that Gears of War 4 could also show up on the PC later this year, which I've told you before, don't be surprised whenever it happens. Now, I've said a lot of times, I've actually been calling for Xbox games to come over to PC for us to have access to both of them. I like this cross-buy deal. A lot of people said, that wouldn't ever happen. The reason you stick with this channel, though, is because a lot of the stuff that I talk about does end up happening. But one announcement did kind of rub me the wrong way, and it's not something that I've really seen a lot of people complain about, but so maybe it's just me. But there was this news, that Forza 6 Apex is coming to the PC. Now, I'm all for Forza coming to the PC. It's 4K, DX12, a lot of games they're announcing so far is starting to finally show up with DX12 on it, so I told y'all that it would take a while for these games, start implementing this. It's finally beginning to happen this year. The trailer looked great for the game, but it's a free-to-play game, and I'm not against that. I'm okay not spending any money enjoying some of my favorite franchises, but Microsoft is pushing this message of universal apps, which I'm completely behind, taking your games anywhere you want to go, whether it be on console or PC, tablet, wherever. I like that. The problem with Apex, at least so far, at least from what I've read, there doesn't appear to be any announcements for Xbox One. And, at the very least, you shouldn't be bringing experiences to the PC that you're not bringing to the consoles. I understand that this is like a subset of the main game that's on Xbox One, but it just kind of struck me kind of lame to offer PC gamers a free-to-play version of Forza and not Xbox One owners. And, it also reminded me of Microsoft trying to push, Halo. They had a version of Halo that hit the PC back a few months ago, but it was only for Russian gamers. So either, pick one or the other. Either you want everyone to play or you want to keep people segregated in groups. Which one is it? To me, it makes no sense. If you're going to come out with a game on one system, be sure it's at least on your gaming console. But of course, the biggest news that caused the biggest blow up on social media is all this talk of hardware upgrades for Xbox One. So instead of waiting 7 to 10 years till the end of a cycle for a console, they're saying that their long-term plan includes what appears to be the possibility of rolling out upgrades that you could get that would give your system more power. So maybe you want to get something that you attach to your system that gives you the capability of doing 4K gaming or 60 frames per second. At least that's what you would assume. So there's a lot of talk of back and forth as to whether or not this is a good thing or a bad thing. People looking at Sega and saying this type of stuff didn't work, and others looking at the pros of it. So first off, comparing 2016 technology to the 90s is pretty dumb in my opinion. VR was tried back years ago. Every technology that you can possibly imagine has gotten better over time. So the logistics of it, whether or not it can or can't be done, really doesn't bother me, because if it couldn't be done, people wouldn't be talking about doing it. Look at PlayStation VR. They've got an extra box that attaches with the system that does things that the PS4 couldn't do. If the PS4 could have done it, they wouldn't have included this extra box to help it out. So, and there's also this news, AMD just this week bragging about their external GPU that you can attach to a laptop that gives you the capability to do high-end gaming on maybe a lower-end laptop. So the tech is there. These people saying that it can't work or it won't work, are you not looking at anything else going on in the world today? The benefits to consider is, one, if you have a decent PC, for example, do you think most people would rather upgrade their PC or just scrap it and go buy a brand new one every time a new component comes out? The appeal that a lot of people have for PC is the ability to upgrade your components as you wish. You can still play games on a lower level if you want to. You can still play older games, but if you want to play the newest game at the highest resolutions, then if you've got the money, you can go ahead and you can invest in that. It's optional. Nobody's forcing you to do it. The same could potentially now be said about your console in the future. Do you want to wait 7 or 10 years, have to buy a brand new system where the old system becomes obsolete after that time period, and where the PC continues to outperform consoles by tenfold? Or would you rather have the ability to try to get more out of your current system? And again, nobody's forcing you to do anything. If you don't want it, you're happy where you're at, you can stay there, but as an extra option. And like I said, and Phil brought up this point as well, you usually have console cycles where when a new system comes out, those old systems, those old games, those old controllers, everything becomes obsolete. So it's sitting in your closet most of the time, you're not playing it, and this being able to give you the ability to upgrade your system means that everything still stays relevant. You can still play all those games that you had purchased. And for the PC crowd, they're always complaining that consoles are holding the PC back. And this is also one way where potentially developers could keep pushing forward with the latest tech, especially if they're taking advantage of things like Windows Universal Apps. So they want to build the greatest looking games and put it on PC and on console. So I personally think that it's a good thing. I like options. I've told you that many times before. Options, to me, are better than no options. Now, would I upgrade my Xbox? Honestly, probably not. I've got no reason for 4K gaming because I don't own a 4K TV. It's not something that's a must-have on my list. I'm very happy with the quality of TV that I have right now. I still think it looks fantastic. But knowing that I'd have that capability is nice if I ever did decide to get one. Now, if I had the ability to make sure that all my games are running 60 frames per second, I would probably be more inclined to jump on that, depending on how much it costs and everything else, because to me, that's a lot bigger issue than the resolution. And that's also why I choose to play most of the multi-platform games on PC. So, in the end, we just have to see what exactly it is they're even offering, what they're talking about, how it would work. Some people are always going to fight change. That always happens. But change, most of the time, is good. Maybe this works, maybe it doesn't, but modular gaming is something that we've been talking about for years, and there's all kinds of companies that are trying to take advantage of it. So it could potentially make it very easy for people who don't feel like taking apart their console but want to get better performance. And Phil made it clear that this wouldn't be something where they're going to be including screwdrivers and you're going to be taking your console apart and trying to switch out components. So I'm sure they'll make it just a plug-in probably and play. So will it come? Sounds like a good possibility that it will. I'm interested in hearing more about it, and based on the price and how it works, it could potentially be a good idea, or maybe it completely flops. Here's the question though. Would you rather have a console that you can upgrade, or would you rather have a system that's static, that just gets old over time, where you're forced to buy a brand new one every few years? That does it for me, The Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Are you listening? Damn.